I think it could be life changing for a lot of people. And I think truly that it's one of those things that everybody can do because everybody can be at home and they can have something to hold up and sell. And I think that whoever made it, I don't think that they realized how many lives they would change with it because it's opened doors that I never even thought was a door that could open. For me, for my family, social selling has become everything because it let me work while I was healing and it let me grow a community when I was completely alone.
Welcome to Open Talk. My name's Lynn. Today I'm here with Jennifer McVay. How are you doing, Jennifer?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you coming on with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Those that don't know who you are, you want to briefly introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I am Jennifer. A lot of my community knows me as Jenny Lee. I have a jewelry business that I do a lot of selling on different, like Poshmark. I'm a huge community there, and so it's like the sweetest group of people. I don't even know. Um, Yes, I've been selling jewelry for like the last year and a half, and I'm an artisan jewelry maker. And so a lot of the stuff that I've done has been like over the last year and a half, kind of discovering what it is about jewelry and what kind of jewelry makes me really passionate about. Like, because I want to make really beautiful pieces. And honestly, everybody has been so supportive since I first started that it's like grown very naturally. So it's like, I can't even believe that I'm here from where I started just because it's been very organic and very like one little step at a time. And now a year and a half into it, it's like I'm finally starting to see a picture of
Mm.
what I really want, like what my goals are now.
I have the privilege to see a lot of your shows. I mean, you put so much time into your jewelry. It's crazy. How did you get into jewelry? What was the story behind that?
So I had a lot of health problems, actually. I was recently like it starts so long ago, but like what I recently got into jewelry was I had ended up having like a very major spine surgery and I was in a traction and I was like stuck at home for 6 months and it was horrible.
Oh my.
And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't drive my car or even sleep laying down. Like it was a whole big thing. But like I at that time I knew I was going to be this was like my 20th major surgery. I knew what to expect and I knew that like there's a real thing about post-surgical depression. Like chemically your body just goes through this as you're recovering from any major surgery. And so I knew that I would be experiencing that. And so I was talking to the doctors and one of the things that I started doing was I was like, I'm going to just pick a new hobby. So I actually started learning Korean and I started making jewelry. Like these were two things.
Interesting.
I was just like, I'm going to do something crazy. And I just fell into both of them just kind of by a whim. And I didn't know that I would love them both as much as I did. And I didn't sink into that post-surgical depression. Like, in fact, I was kind of rejuvenated from that time. I don't think back on it even negatively because I didn't let myself get into a down mindset. Everything during that time was literally like fun and exciting because for the first time I had to stop. I was forced to stop for a long period of time. And I think as a creative, we need that time to think and to build all of those things in our head that when you're doing your normal day to day, 8 to 5 or like whatever hours you're working, you don't have time always to be a creative. And so I think that kind of started this new chapter in my life, that time period and going through that. Yeah.
Well, so when you were like creating the jewelry, did you think that that was your pastime, or did you think about, okay, I want to actually make money from it, or is it just something just to do?
I wasn't even thinking that it was good enough. Do you know, like I was just learning it. And had joined the Poshmark app. One of my piano students' moms was like, "Oh my God, I just bought these shoes on Poshmark." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Download this app. It's awesome." I was like, "Okay." So I downloaded it and I just started watching. And I didn't even know that live selling was a thing until
Hmm.
that. And this is like 2024. Like it wasn't like I didn't know that it was a thing. And so I started watching it and I found this little girl who sold jewelry really cheap, like $3 and $4 stuff. And I just went crazy with her for months. And I had such a good time and I built a little community there in her show. And we got to know each other and she supported me and she helped me go from just a buyer into a seller. And so as I was in this weird thing for like 4 or 5 months and I was starting to make jewelry, it didn't really, I never actually thought I'm going to sell the pieces I'm making, but I started having just poundage of jewelry from what I was buying because I'm a girl and whatever. I don't know. I bought a lot of jewelry. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to sell this stuff so I can buy more jewelry. Like this is the Poshmark story, right? Of most
Yep.
sellers.
Sure.
And so I started selling that. And then I was like, I was looking at some of the pieces that I was selling and I wasn't being judgy, but some of them were not cute. And I was literally like, I can do better. I'm going to start making jewelry that's more beautiful. And I was tired of like all the necklaces that I was buying. A lot of them were just metal or like plastic junk. And I was like, why is nobody buying like high end gemstones and pearls and putting them on a piece? Like, where are these pieces? And I started doing research. And it's because all those pieces are like $1,500 and higher. Like they're like real crazy money. And so I was like, well, how can I use that stuff and do this on like a everybody can get something really beautiful for a fraction of the price, you know?
Mm.
So that's where it all kind of started.
And so what made you want to go was that going live and selling? Was that something natural or was that something that you're motivated to do or is that because you watched someone and said, "Okay, I want to do that."
I think because my past was I've been a classical pianist since like in training since I was 5 years old. So I did classical piano. I did a full ride to all of my education, like just full scholarships because I practiced all the time. And then after I graduated and I got married and I started a piano studio and it was very successful. I mean, I got to the point where I was making six figures and I had to turn people away because I didn't have enough time to fit them in. Like it was growing beautifully.
Hmm.
And the weird part about it was I was teaching, 8 to 10 hours a day straight. And it was like love of piano just got trampled on because it just became about like lifting everybody up around me and like giving them support and encouragement. And over time, just doing it so much, I was like feeling like empty, empty, empty. Like, so I needed a hobby because unfortunately, when you're a pianist, you are kind of forced into making your hobby into your career, right? Like
Right?
you don't, and when you're a pianist, it's not easy to be a pianist. You don't have tons of hobbies outside of being a pianist, right? You
Right.
live and breathe it. And so I was always performing. I was always on stage. I was always doing recitals with my studio and talking to parents. And I was just very comfortable on a stage setting. I always have been because I've been performing since I was so young, right? And so being live on Posh was being on a different way, in a different way, but also the same. It's still performance. I still feel that stage in a way that you get by being a performer. I'm a performer. That's
Yep.
what I was. And so it doesn't feel different. But what I like about live selling is when you're a pianist, you're just a performer. But when you're a live seller, you're performing, but you're also connecting with the audience and you're getting in real time feedback, comments, and encouragement and support from these people that you would never have met otherwise.
Yes. It's wild.
It's
It's so
so
wild.
amazing.
It really is. Do you remember your first show?
Yes. Um, I
Is that
was
a good laugh or a bad
no,
laugh?
I had started watching this show. Is it okay to name names? I was watching this show Motamine and I actually really love them. It's a husband and wife duo and they sell sterling silver jewelry. And I just would go over there and just drool. They had all these amazing things, and it would be like antique beauties. And they were always doing their shows together. And there was this beautiful little community built in there. And so the husband, when I went live for the first time, he came and like did the hand holding. Like, what does this button do? And what do I do here? And I was so nervous because it was the first time that like I had interacted with a live show host.
Mm.
And it was in a way like talking to a celebrity, even though it wasn't. I just felt that way. And so, but he was very kind. And then he was like, okay, you got this. Peace out. Bye. Like that was alone. And
And
I
that was
think
it?
that was it. I think that I had maybe 4 people in my show that whole show. And I made a sell of like $5. And I thought, this is the best thing I have ever experienced.
Wow. And then?
And then, um, And then I worked my entire crazy schedule. I mean, I was working like 60 to 70 hours a week teaching, and I was doing Poshmark shows Thursday through Sunday nights. And I would start at 9 p.m. after
Yep.
I got, because I worked until 8 p.m. And then I would eat something and then get ready and go live. Like that was my life. And so I would be packaging orders until 3 or 4 in the morning and sourcing all night long. Like I didn't sleep. I don't even know how I did that. I don't know how, but I did that for a year, like a year and 3 months or a year and 4 months, something like that. And I kept that schedule. And it's like
Wow.
that routine started giving me like the same core people. Like I had a good 10 people that would be in every show. If
See,
I was
see,
on, they were there.
that's the thing I'm think. It's like I feel like so many people they get so worried or scared
Yeah.
about going live and with only a few people in their
Yeah.
room. It is scary. I mean, it is like I mean, who wants to go live and talk to themselves for hours at a time, right?
Right.
And that was your experience for the first. How long did it take for you to get more than 10 people in your room?
Months, probably, like
Wow.
3 or 4 months. And, I did it the old school way where I didn't know a single person, really. I mean, I had my little tiny 3 or 4 person group in that one room,
Yep.
but other and Modamine would promote me when I would go in their show. "Hey, Jen's new, she's doing a new show, she's so cute." And I would be like, "Ah." And then it was just like I just would find new people. And it really wasn't until like there was a couple of sellers that had bigger numbers and they would invite me to do a share show and then I would meet some new people. And it was like it just was going and it was going well. And I was one of those random places where I was making like 4 to $1,200 a night. Closer to 3 or 4, like in the middle area, like almost nothing in the very beginning, but like in the middle area. And then it grew until I was making at
Wait,
least
wait, 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 wait.
400. Yeah, per show. Yeah.
With that
Like,
many people.
so after I did some share shows with those people, it would be like I had the same 20 to 30. It was like that was like my 20 to 30 was a freaking awesome show. If I could get that many people, is like the best show. So over the weekend, I would have like 12 people. The next night, I
Wow.
might have 18 people, and then I would have like a good show. And then it would go back. So no, it wasn't every night. It would be like over the weekend, it would be like maybe a $300 show and then like a $400 show. And then I'd have like a big show. And then the next show would be like small again, 300. So over the weekend, I thought that that was amazing.
I honestly, you want to know my opinion? Like,
What?
this is just my humble opinion, but
Okay.
for making $400 to $1,200 with only 20 to 30 people in your room
Yeah.
at home in the
In
comfort of
my
your own home,
closet.
in
That
your
was in my
closet,
closet.
I think that's insane. And then, like, let's say how many times did you go live per week?
I was going at least 3, if not 4 times a week, and that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was my
Three
schedule.
times a week,
Yeah,
$800, $600, $1,200.
per week.
That's a lot.
I thought it was fantastic.
I think that's a lot of money.
It was. It was like fun money, and then I was, not as responsible with it in the beginning because I was like, "I have all this money to spend."
Mm.
And my husband was like, "You don't know what you're doing." I'm like, "I don't even care." No. No, but I did. I had to learn. So then at that point, I had like, I don't know, a month or 2 where I was like, "This is crazy." Like the kids would be, "I need this." I'd be like, "Here's some money." I was like, "Mom Oprah, like have it because I've got it."
I love it. I love
And then
it.
and then after that, it was more like, this could be a I mean, this isn't just a hobby. So we actually had a conversation, my husband and I, where we were like, is this something that is like in our future? Like, is this something? But I mean, he has an amazing job, thank God. And I was doing pretty good for myself, I thought. And
Were you doing the shows by yourself or you
I
had
was
help?
by
Or?
myself. I had no help.
No
I
help.
did have a little help with packing. He was because I just worked. I didn't understand that I was working as much as I was. But I was checked out from my family. I was just working all the time, every waking moment. And I didn't even realize like a whole year went by. I don't think I even like realized I wasn't part of my family. It was so weird. So, but I was like, I'm one of those people that just I feel inside of me like there is this desperation to not to prove myself, but that there is greatness that is meant for certain people. And there's these things that happen in your life that kind of help you. You either go the right direction or it doesn't happen for you, you know? And it's like I have been unlucky in every moment of my life when that moment came and one direction would have made it go well and the other direction was the wrong way. I've gone the wrong way every time throughout my whole life. I felt like this. Like I've never had like I had my mom and dad be supportive and I always had like my friend, like a friend be supportive. But other than that small circle, I've never I guess I'm very passionate about growth. I am passionate that I don't want to die and not have meant something. Like I
Mm,
feel this burn in me. And so there's not a lot of people who can relate to me, I think, in that way because they're very happy just living the life. And I feel like I can't connect with that because I know that I'm destined for something that is better for me. Like I don't compare myself to like others in the way that I approach work. I know that I have goals and I'm willing to work. I will put the work in and I'm going to accomplish my goal at some point. That's like just push and push because I don't know what it is really that I want to achieve, but this has been the first thing that everything felt like I went on the right direction. Like us choosing because when we had that conversation, he was like, well, "Let's try it for 3 months. Let's see if you can consistently make X amount of money for 3 months." And then I did it. I surpassed it. And then we were like, "Okay, 6 months. Let's just do it for 6 months and see if it's." And it was I surpassed it again, and it kept being consistent. I kept being like, when is it going to be really horrible? Now, I did have a couple of shows that I remember hanging up and bawling my eyes out because I made like only $100 or something. And I had put like thousands into that week or
oh,
something.
wow.
Yeah, like there was definitely some emotional up and down. But I think we didn't just make a decision lightly. We have kids. I wanted to make sure we were not just financially sound, but like able to buy shoes when they needed them, able to do extra things for the homeroom. Like this is what I wanted. I didn't want to be like, well, we can't do anything and we can't have anything because I quit my job that was stable and great.
Yep.
Like, and so it kept at it for a year plus, like 13 or 14 months. And then it was like I was just digging a hole in the ground. I was just working so much and it was circular and I wasn't really having enough time to source well. I was just sourcing quickly. And there is a difference. And I was sourcing quickly. And then so a lot of the sales that I was doing just ended up being circular for a while because I didn't have time to create, didn't have time to source. I couldn't stay up all night. I couldn't do the things that like I needed to be doing because I had to work.
Mm,
And I had to and my work was not a work that you can sit at a computer desk and like check out and drink your coffee and play on your phone. My
yeah.
work was one-on-one, total attention. I couldn't be on my phone. It was like high level the whole day.
Yep.
And I couldn't be tired. I had to be present. So anyway,
See, that's the thing I feel like, I mean, when people start getting involved in lifestyle, they quickly find out that, oh man, I have to not only sell, I have to start sourcing. I have to know how to ship. I have to know how to do customer service. I have to know how to grow, market myself. It's
yeah.
like a boot camp. Like, what do you think was some of your earlier like bottlenecks that you were like, okay, if I just fix this thing and that thing, I could finally like break through.
Well, a lot of it too was like, so my past actually has a big deal to do with this question. A lot of the problems was I was still recovering from my spine surgery when I first started doing lives. And I literally couldn't sit for more than like 2 hours at a time because I would be in absolute pain, like
Pain.
horrible pain. And I think in a way, doing lives long term helped me build stamina of like sitting up because when you have certain spine surgeries, they cut through the front of you. So it cuts all of like your abdominal muscles and like your So it's a lot of healing and it takes a long time. It's not a 6 week thing. Oh, you're back to normal. It's like years. It takes years. But I had some crazier bouts of health that I feel have always made now a challenge, like more than most, that it has been like affected a lot of things with this. Like I got married. So James and I graduated from the same university for undergrad, and
Oh, that's cool.
we did.
College
And
sweethearts.
college sweethearts, yes. My dad had 2 rules, and it was you have to graduate before you get married and don't come home pregnant. And so I did everything right. Anyway, we graduated in middle of May. We got married at the beginning of July. So I went home for a month, and I mean, it's a lot to graduate with college. I had 2 degrees and he had 2, and we like didn't even see each other for months. And anyway, we graduated and got married, and it was like we had just moved into our first little house, and I got really sick, like very, very sick, and we didn't know what was going on. And I kept having bladder infections, like for 8 or 9 months. I was seeing a doctor, and they would be like, let's try this other medicine and let's try this other medicine. And like nothing, just could not. And so finally they started like looking deeper, and they found that I had cervical cancer. And so
Oh
I,
my.
yeah. So I was 24.
24
Yeah, 24, I think.
with the C word. Wow.
Yeah, the one that no one wants to talk about, of course, but I did. So I did it was a very easy fix, this one. I did a surgery and it got rid of it. And we just did blood work follow-up and I was good. Like that one was good. But at that time they were pushing. I also had some abnormal cells in endometrial areas. And they were like, pregnancy, we either need to be pregnant or we need to do a hysterectomy. Like those were the 2 options that I was given at 24. And I was a pianist and I couldn't get a job to save my life anywhere. And my husband had a degree in biology and chemistry and couldn't do anything except go to grad school. Like he couldn't get a job. He waited tables at Papacitos. So we were married with a ton of bachelor degrees between us. We couldn't get a job. Like, and then I got sick. And then I was like really sick. Like, so anytime you have cancer, it's just it's not like you feel like a pain. It's like you have
I,
a fog
I
over your
couldn't
whole body.
imagine.
No,
At 24.
it was a lot. And my mom was there, and they would do things like my parents would come and like fill the fridge with food that they bought at like Sam's because we had nothing. We only had what he was bringing home as a waiter. And he was in school Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Like that was his grad. It was an accelerated grad program. It was crazy. And I could do nothing except be at home. And that was exhausting, just existing. So anyway, I was like, okay, well, we need to get pregnant because I want to have kids. I don't want to have a hysterectomy and then never be able to have kids. So we were trying and it just wasn't happening. And every 3 months I would have to go in and then they would give me this whole like, okay, so we need to figure out what we need to do. And I would just be like, well, is it dire? Like, do we have to make a decision today? And then the response was always like, no, we don't have to decide today. Let's do another 3 months. It was like just a light forward. I don't know why. I don't know how it happened that way, but it
Mm.
did. I in 2008, I got pregnant. So 4 years after, and we were trying the whole time. It was just very hard. Once you have cervical
Wow.
cancer, they have to cut certain parts, and then it's just very hard to
So
get pregnant.
it was a miracle.
It was a miracle. So we got pregnant and that was amazing. And it was good. I was good. It was good. And then 2 years later, 3.5 years later, we got pregnant again with Emma. And that one was good. And as soon as Emma was born, I was exhausted. Like, I remember at the worst, I got up one morning, it was like 11. I slept until like 11. I was a stay at home mom. I slept until 11. I got up, I went and sat in the bath. That's all I could do was sit in the bath. And I got out of the bath and I had to sit on the toilet to dry off. And I had to go back to bed because I was so exhausted. I couldn't even do that. Like that was the moment where I remember calling my mom on the phone and just accepting, you know me, I'm just like this. I was like,
Mm.
I don't have time to be sick. Like, I'm just going to keep pushing through. Everybody's got 2 kids. It must just be this exhausting. Like, it must just be this hard. Right? Right? This is hard. Right? I'm looking around and nobody else is like looking like they felt like I felt like, and then I felt like I was failing. Like, why can't I keep up with my kids? Like, why am I failing at parenting? Like, why don't I have energy? And I didn't want to be with my husband, and I didn't want to, it was just awful. So I remember calling my mom and her just being like, I think you need to call the doctor. So we called the OBGYN, and I went in, and he literally walked in the door. This just tells you, I was like at my breaking moment. He walks in the door and he was like, and he hadn't seen me since I had had Emma. And he was like, well, hello, it's good to see you. How are things? And it was like, I fell
Falling.
apart, bawling, bawling. Like I fell apart completely. Everything is too hard. I can't cook for my family. I can't do the laundry. I can't get out of bed. I can't eat. I can't sleep. And something's very wrong. I think I'm dying. I think I'm dying. I think there's something really wrong.
Oh my gosh.
It was horrible. I just was, oh, to even just have to come to the point of admitting it for me was very tough. Like, and so he was like, I got you. Like, if I'm going to figure this out, like, you're not alone. I hear you and I believe you. I'm going to fix this. Like, I was like, I went home, I did a lot of blood work, and they had me come back. And he was like, at that moment, he said, I see some abnormal cells here, but your thyroid stuff has come off. Like your ranges are way off. You have to go to endo. So I was like,
What is that?
okay. Endocrinology is a doctor of the adrenal system. So I had to go to a specialist about the adrenal. Those are the people, they deal with thyroid and like diabetes. Like that's the realm that this doctor does. And so I went to him and they discovered two things. They discovered that I suddenly had something called Graves' disease, and that um it was very odd that I even had this. It's an autoimmune disease and I just randomly came down with it, or it just randomly started up or something. Anyway, and they were like, okay, so they took I had to do ultrasounds and they found that I had a mass, and they were like, we want to do surgery. We want to take the thyroid out. So and we didn't know at that point anything. Like I was just like, I
My
think I had
gosh.
6 days. They were like, we're gonna schedule this next week. You have like 6 days. So I went home and like prepared, because everyone I talked to was like, thyroid, it's no big deal. Like everybody does it, like you're fine, you'll feel so much better. And they acted, even my mom was like, oh, it's no big deal, like whatever. So I remember
I would be scared.
I was a musician and I sang, and they were cutting. So when they do this, they have to cut all of your everything. So anyway, I don't even remember where it was. I'm sorry. So anyway, I did a surgery, and when they did the surgery, they discovered that I had thyroid cancer. And so I was in, I went in for my like you go in after surgery, like my first post-op visit with the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, well, you have cancer." I was like, "What? Like, what?" And so they ended up having to take some parathyroids. There were some issues in the hospital because they had to take my parathyroids. I'm not able to absorb calcium, and this matters later in the story, but I couldn't absorb calcium, and I woke up in the hospital, and because I couldn't absorb calcium, I got very, very, very deficient, like very quickly. And so you can't like stay conscious and stuff if you have a depletion of calcium. You have to have it in your body to be awake and functional. And
Yep.
so I kept like passing out, and it was, I don't even know what you would call it, but like my fingers would curl and I would lose consciousness. And so that kept happening until we figured out like there was a vitamin D thing. They literally wanted me to go outside naked and just like cook in the sun, because that would be the only way that I could get the calcium to get in my body. I don't know. It was a whole thing. So we did that cancer thing, and that's when we had to deal with all of the post-cancer stuff, and there was a lot of testing and a lot of like, I remember like this radiation. There was a lot of testing that involved radiation. And I remember just being like, I couldn't be around people for X amount of days because I was radioactive, and like there was also like, it was just a lot. And I was feeling like anything I did was really exhausting. I don't really remember this entire year of my life. I have like no memory. This is like how bad it was. I
I
was
mean,
in
it just
such a
sounds.
fog.
I mean, this is
I
the
mean,
second time the C word came up. Second
yes,
time.
second time. So I don't remember that year of my kids. I just remember everything just was hard, and I felt like I couldn't keep up. And that was the whole year. And so my husband was just by me the entire time, like working and doing two parents' jobs because I was just sick. It was just awful. Anyway, I got a job as a marketing director at a private school once I kind of recovered some. And um I was dealing with some people, and it was really small school and it was fun, but I learned a lot and I liked that. And then um in 2020, was it 20 when COVID happened?
Mm.
We bought a house 4 days after COVID happened. After COVID did the shutdown, we closed on our house. We bought a house and we got it at like a 2.75% interest rate. Like I refinanced it 3 months after we bought it. So we
Oh, that
bought this,
sounds amazing
yeah,
now.
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Is this
It
the
just,
home? Is this the exact same home you're in right
yeah,
now?
the home I'm in now,
That's
correct.
amazing.
They had just built it, like, it was awesome, and so it was like I had a new job and, like, I was getting better and I was healing and, like, we got a new house when we didn't know that we would get a house, like, all these things started, like, falling into line. It was so, so great, and then, in 2000, was it 2019? It may have been before, I got really sick again. I don't remember even the years now, it's all blended together, but I
Mm.
got a uterine cancer
This is the third time?
the third time. So, yeah, once you get people don't know this, but once you get cancer, you're susceptible to more cancer because it's
I
the
didn't know that.
yeah, like, very few people have one cancer and then they don't have it ever again, very few. Most people have cancer and then they're gonna have
And
cancer.
and then you have another cancer.
And then you have another cancer, right. And it was related I don't know if it was related to cervical or not. The doctors would never be like, yes or no. So uterine so I had 4 days because I kept having, menstruation, and then, like, 14 days after, I would be unable to walk. It was like the cramps were so severe that I couldn't function like a normal person. And I was like, "What is happening? This is crazy. Why am I dying all over again in a different way? Why am I in so much pain?" So they did that, and that one was a lot because with that one, it was like they couldn't get it all. So we did it. They told me I had it, and then we were in surgery 4 days later, like having a full-on hysterectomy. And there's a lot of emotions that go involved with that. Like, I didn't have
I feel like this
processing.
is just a nightmare that just keeps happening.
It was a lot for everyone. So that happened 4 days. Then I healed for 6 weeks, and then I had more pain. So then they were like, "Well, we need to go in again because you have an endometrial mass here in your fascia that we didn't see when we went in, but it has abnormal cells and we need to take it out right now." So it was like they were cutting through my fascia, and when you cut in the fascia, like, that's your muscle lining. So I have, like, mesh inside of me on this side of my body now to, like, keep my abs in, those muscles, but, like, it was so and then they would do that, and then there was another spot that they found, and I kept being like, "The pain is over here," and they kept doing, like, the ultrasound, like, on the wrong place. So I told the ultrasound tech, and I was like, "Listen, I know that they're saying this, but I need you to put this thing over here. This is where it's hurting." I could point to it. And they did, and they discovered another one. The doctor was like, "I can't even believe that we saw this because it wasn't where we were looking." And I'm like, "Thank God for that tech because they found another bit of it, of abnormal cells that were cancerous, and, I had to do another surgery to get those out. Like, it was like surgery, surgery, surgery. I had to take a leave of absence from work because I couldn't recover from surgery. It was like 6 or 8 months, and it was like I got to be where I had, like, white coat syndrome because every time I had to go to the doctor, they would tell me that I had to have another surgery. So it was like I couldn't live, I couldn't recover, I couldn't go back to work. Everything was horrible. Like, I was miserable.
Hmm.
It was horrible. I can't even, like, think back on that time because it was just horrible.
I
So
I had no idea. I almost think listening to that and your story gives me idea when you go live, like what it means to you.
to be able to work now, to be able to do it and
And
be given opportunities to work.
yes, and to show the world who you are and what you're
Yes,
capable of.
because for, like, over 10 years, I couldn't do anything. I could teach piano. I did get, I mean, that was always like a part-time thing going. And then it was only the past couple of years, 2 or 3 years, that I was able to build it up. And I had to take a total leave of absence with the whole uterine cancer stuff for, I don't know, it was like 8 months. I had to stop teaching entirely, which means no income. So it felt like my husband and I just couldn't catch up with all the times that I went down. It would be, and it wasn't like I had to take a week off work. It would be like we just didn't have Jennifer's salary this year. It would be like that. And we felt it. I mean, we didn't, the Lord kind of saved us from going massively over debt, but there was one Christmas, and it was when I had both kids, and it was the worst thing. I think it was my lowest point. And it was Christmas, and we couldn't actually afford Christmas. Like, we didn't have it. There was nothing. And everything broke. The roof broke. It was, and this one band director from college actually moved to our town, and I saw him one day and everything came out. He knew me before, so I felt like I could talk to him. So I told him all these things, and he showed up at my house one day, and I'm sick. I mean, it took effort to get to the door, and he gave us $500, like, for Christmas. He said, "You get the kids Christmas." And
I'm
I
getting
could
chills.
not even think about it that day. Like, I knew that we were low, but I didn't realize we were so low until that moment. And I've never felt so incredibly moved and grateful and so worthless in my whole life that we were there. I'm educated, I'm smart, I'm capable, and I can't do anything. And it's the worst feeling forever. It's the worst feeling to have a family and to be only the struggle of the family. It's hard to feel that way. And so, yeah, when I started Poshmark, it was like I have this weird way of helping us, and we were okay, but everything has always just been like, we're still coming off from that. Like, because it took all of our savings, and it took all of I mean, we were in credit debt, and like, it was like we were okay, but we weren't ever under this pile of debt, or well, we borrowed from here so we could do that, like, so that we could have groceries that month. Or, I mean, we literally had several months, like not 1 month, but like 6 months, where we were putting formula and baby diapers, which was $400 a month, on credit card to feed our kids. That's what I was doing. I mean, that's where we were. So anyway, it's like we went from like rags to riches. Like, I did this, and then I prayed, and I was like, "Lord, like, I'm finally better. Please don't let me be sick anymore. I want to build something. I'm going to build this piano studio, and I'm going to give my husband a break, who has not had a break in 15 years. I want to give him like a little stress off his shoulders, because he's held us completely together all on his own for all these years."
Wow.
So, yeah, I started Posh, and I thought this would be a great way to just help, and I never ever expected that it would become more than a little hobby on the side.
I hear the fire in your voice, Jen. I do. You have no
Yes.
idea. I really do. I hear it. And I just feel like live means so much to you because you can do, I mean, that's your outlet based on everything that's happened to you. Where do you
Yeah.
want to take your live show, Jen?
I feel like the live show has made me realize that I do have a passion in creating. I think live has shown me that there are people who do want the stuff that I create. And I don't think that I gave myself like real permission to believe that. I mean, there's not a such thing as like I was trained in jewelry making. Like, you don't have, like, that's not really a thing, right? But jewelry making is a career. Like, people do this. And so I want to use live selling as a means to start my own jewelry brand. I want to have my brand.
Mm,
That's the biggest thing I want to. So I
I
want
like
to
that.
keep building it. Yeah.
I like that. What would you name it?
Love Jenny Lee.
I love it. I
To
love it.
me, it came to me one night because I was writing these thank you letters to everybody who's helped me along the way, like, literally. And so in my mind, me ending the letter, "Love Jenny Lee," always held so much more meaning to me, I think, in that way, because I think people don't understand. They get gratitude, but I don't think they understand when it's all that you have, when you have nothing, and the only thing that you have is gratitude, that it means something so much deeper than just words. So when I say when I'm writing these letters of gratitude and I'm saying love Jenny Lee at the bottom, it's like it centers me again and reminds me of what it's like when we had nothing, you know? And it just helps me, like, it makes me appreciate everybody who comes into my life, every opportunity that comes into my life. I It makes me just so grateful on a different level, I
You
think.
know why live social works, Jen? I
Why?
mean, it's not something that people just watch on TV and here, okay, here's a reality TV show, or like here's QVC and then someone that they don't know who they are. You know what I mean? These are people that obviously have built relationships with you, that watch you every day from your own home, that knows when you're about to eat, sleep, you know, what your favorite drink of coffee is. Like these are people that build relationships with you that then buy from you because they feel that inner connection. And that's why I think I mean, live social is just so powerful. I think people should hear your story, Jen, because I think a lot of people can relate to you. And you've turned your hardship, which is insane, to something where you use that energy and to create jewelry, beautiful pieces of jewelry, absolute
Yeah.
beautiful pieces of jewelry to the world and hope people will buy that. That's what
Yeah.
I think is happening here.
Yeah. And I'm very careful. It's so funny that we're talking about it because I think everybody in my community, they know bits and pieces maybe where I've had to say, like, hang on, I can't do this. I need to go take my pills, or because I'm on a lot of pain medicine and muscle relaxers like for the rest of my life. Like that's one of the side effects of having cancer is
Yep.
it's forever. But I don't think that they've heard the story. And so I've shied away from it, I think, just because it was hard. And never felt like I was out of that place yet. I still feel like I don't have enough stability from that place yet. Like I want to get to a place where I feel like I have a stable table under me of, I don't know, not support, but maybe not even financially. I don't know, just I want something stable to not
Yeah.
be pulled out from under me, you know?
Do you think live social has a potential to do that for you?
I think that live social, I think it's one of these amazing things that I think it could be life changing for a lot of people. And I think truly that it's one of those things that everybody can do because everybody can be at home and they can have something to hold up and sell. And I think that whoever made it, I don't think that they realized how many lives they would change with it because it's opened doors that I never even thought was a door that could open. So for me, for my family, social selling has become everything because it let me work while I was healing and it let me grow a community when I was completely alone. You know, even if I wouldn't go and tell people, you know, I struggled because I had a treatment this morning and then I had to do physical therapy and then I came and I taught piano and then I did this. That me selling was a breath that I could take away from all of that. And so again, I think it just comes down to the beauty of life selling and the fact that these communities of people that are strangers, they come into our lives and they just surround us with love and support and encouragement. And I don't think that any one person even knows the whole story, but like the smallest thing just makes me in daily gratitude and just in awe of the goodness of people.
Here's some rapid fire questions. What's the most you made in a show?
I made 27.90 something in a train show once.
27.90. What's the most you made in 10 seconds?
10 seconds, 100, and
What's the bid?
I think it was a flash sale. It was a
Really?
flash sale. Yes. That was the highest. I've had bids go up, but I think they stop around like 120, 130. I don't think that it would be truthful to say they went higher than that.
Do you, so, you know, like, you know how you sell jewelry, right?
Yes.
Like I said, I had the privilege to watch quite a few shows. Like, how do you,
Oh, I did sell the tree. I forgot.
yeah?
I did sell the tree for 206 51.
Oh, that's
51.
right. That's right.
I
That's
did
right.
sell 251. Okay.
How do you portray value to people in terms of jewelry? And I know nothing about jewelry. I don't know. Like, how do you, like, if something is worth $2,000 on camera.
Mhm.
Like, how do you tell people, like, oh my gosh, like, this is really expensive. Let's stop
All
bidding it
I
up?
do is yell at people, "This is expensive." No, no, honestly, it's happened very organically because I've done it so long, and when I started, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I didn't know what stones were. I didn't know what glass I couldn't tell glass versus stone. I knew nothing. So, like, I just had, like, other vintage sellers would, like, come in my live and, like, tell me what things were because I was, like, so dumb. I was selling really expensive stuff for like, here's $3 because that's what I thought everybody did. And I didn't know. I didn't know better. And so then it's like my mom got me like two gemology books at Christmas, and I was like studying like all the different stones. And then we went to like the Dallas Gem and Mineral Show that comes through every year. And I met this amazing person, and they have a big place in New York, like a store, but they have a Brookstone store. So it's like they live in the upper floors and they have this huge warehouse in the basement.
Mm.
And so he's telling me about his basement that I needed to come and visit. And I was like, but it was amazing. Like, so I started getting with him, and I didn't know that stones could be at that level until I met this guy. And then it opened a world up to then I was like, okay, my newest passion, I don't want to work with just any beads. I want to find every culture's most beautiful and rare beads. And I want to understand why they are so rare and special and expensive. And I want to like do this with it. I'm going to do this. I have all these dreams that I want to do. And so I've actually can say the sentence that I've started working with some of the best gemstones in the world. I can
I love
actually say
this.
that sentence. I know.
I love
And
this.
it makes me excited. It makes me passionate. And like the more that I the more that I'm able to source better internationally, the more I'm learning. Like I'm learning stuff every day, every day. And the learning curve has been hard. It's been a big one because I didn't have any knowledge of any type of business selling because as the piano teacher, I was a service. I was not a business. I had a totally different type of business, totally different tax set.
Mm.
Like it's not the same as business. And so, yeah, now I want to travel. So my big goal now is I want to make enough with live selling that I can actually travel. I'll start with the US. I want to travel and find a lot of the rare and precious gems that are here in the US. And I want to do like live streaming, live
I
selling
love
from those
this.
places.
This is so
Yes.
cool.
And then I want to go to like India. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to China. I want to go everywhere. That's my like newest passion in life.
I love this. Are you surprised in live shows how much people actually spend?
I was at first. I think the first time someone spent like $100 with me, I was like, "Oh my god." Like, I'm still coming off like, "Do we have enough money for groceries this week?"
Yeah.
I'm coming off of this mentality. And then I had the show where someone spent $300.
It's,
My
it's
gosh.
wild.
And then I've had buyers spend over $1,000 with me in shows.
It's wild to me.
I
And
know.
that's the thing, like,
I
and
know.
and and it's crazy to me that in live shows people can spend thousands every week and not even realize it. It's
Yeah.
wild.
I think there are some people who are really blessed and able to do that, and then I think that there's the flip side of people who do it and get in big trouble with it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that will have to evolve, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I think we're just at the beginning of live social.
Mm.
What's the and and I love that goal. Like this, the ability for you to stream anywhere. That would be so cool for you to travel to India, go
Right?
live, like
Right?
jewelry right there with the background.
I
People will
know.
go crazy.
Well, and even still, I could even film in the process of them making these beads
Yes.
and carving these gemstones. Like, that's fascinating to me.
Yes. We have about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
I want to ask you a few things.
Mm.
Through your journey in life selling, if you had 1 or 2 pieces of advice that you could share, what would they be?
For somebody new coming in,
Yes.
I think you have to just do it because you're gonna be awkward and clunky. Everybody is at first. It's new. Anytime you do anything new in life that you don't know how to do, you're gonna be awkward and clunky. And I think that feeling prevents a lot of people from trying. But it's not failure to give yourself grace to learn something. That's not failure. And I feel like I would tell them just do it. Just go live And the other thing is when you support somebody else, and people don't always realize this, I think, but in life selling, the more that you give, the more that you support, the more that you love on somebody, it does come back around.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So trust it. Try to have a giving heart when you feel only losses. And over time, because everything takes time, it will come back around. I truly believe that.
For sure. For sure. I think a lot of people think that, you just turn on a button, go live and start selling.
Yeah.
And I think some people have success doing that. But I think that's very rare.
And hard to sustain.
I think most situations people start and then they network. Someone plugs them in another show, and then they build audiences from that. I mean, what's the most people you had in your room now?
Because of open bins, I've had, I mean, wasn't there like 800 once? That like, it's hard to know because sometimes you end the show with over 1,000 people. And then as soon as like it comes in, there's always some that like come off, you know?
Yeah,
So I've never looked at like the exact number, but I would say somewhere between the six and 800 something.
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't have the number ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it is wild though. It is wild.
It's crazy.
Jen, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud.
Thanks.
I'm proud of everything you're doing. I still think you're just at the very beginning. You're at
I
the
hope.
very, very beginning of your channel. And I feel inspired. I think you're very strong.
Thanks.
Yes.
I'm just gonna keep pushing. Just keep going.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jen, for joining Open Talk today. I appreciate you.
Thank
You
you
have a
so
wonderful
much.
night. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.